The history of the Yackandandah Men's Shed dates back to August 2012, when the Lions Club convened a meeting to determine how much interest there would be in creating a men's shed in Yackandandah. There were 36 local men attended, so it was decided that a men's shed should be formed. The meeting was the idea of Ian Moyle. Ian was a Lions Club member and passionate about the fact that Yackandandah should have a men's shed. Ian contacted Yackandandah Health, who had an unused house that had been affected by white ants and would be available to us in the short term, and in the longer term, they would provide a site for us to build a shed. So in 2013, we moved into a 4-bedroom house. 1 bedroom as an office, 1 as a storage area, and 2 as work areas. We had no tools, we had no benches. We received a lot of donations from the community. So the first task we had was to sort through all that we'd been given, determine what worked, what didn't work, what we could sharpen, and what we could use. In 2014, we decided to apply for a grant for a workshop. The only grants available were for extensions or renovations to existing workshops. So we put in an application that showed a workshop area that was joined by a walkway from the existing house. So we complied with an extension rather than new build. We received the grant, we built the workshop. At that point, we'd actually received about $70,000 in grants and donations to put us in that position.
We meet on a Tuesday morning for about 3 hours. We get about 25 members coming. They range in age from about 50, in their 50s right the way through till well into their 80s. They come for a variety of reasons. Some come with skills in woodworking and metalworking. Some come with just to be able to learn some of those skills which we're able to impart on them. We have plenty of good equipment here that they can learn on.
One of our tasks at the Men's Shed is to keep a store of projects going for people to do. One of the first ones we had was outdoor musical instruments for the kinder. And I remember how much fun the older men, the older boys, had playing the thongophone before it was installed down at the kinder. Osborne's Flat Primary School, we built some teepees, some timber teepees for the kids' playground out there. We've made bench seats and picnic tables. We've made a number of other community projects. The raised garden beds, the wicking beds at the post office and at the supermarket were one of the recent ones for the garden club.
People often ask how we raise our funds, how we've managed to establish a terrific workshop like this. And in the main, the Yackandandah Men's Shed work for other community groups. So we've lined the shed at the riding club, we've built a cage around the unicycles at the public school. We do bits of work for the kindergarten just across the way from us. And also we do lots of jobs for Yak Health in building facilities for them. We also raise funds all winter through raffling firewood, and probably our main steady fundraising is through selling kindling. We chop kindling all year round, we build up quite a big stock. That gets sold through the service station, and that allows us to put the cups of tea on the table and to fund our members' facilities that are needed.
One of the main reasons that everybody comes is the social side of the Men's Shed. Well, at 10 o'clock, everybody stops work and we all sit in the amenities area, and what we do is talk about things that are of interest to older men. And we also have some of the health professionals who come here to talk to us, are doctors or people representing government organisations that might be running programs, for instance, on heart health or other matters and mental health. And they normally take half an hour of our time to be able to impart their information to us.
In 2016, the house was demolished. We subsequently needed an area where we could sit and have a cuppa, and we needed a toilet facility. The only grants available were for disabled toilet. So Frank put in another comprehensive application for a disabled toilet, which we received, and subsequently we have a disabled toilet that has full kitchen facilities and seating for 40 people.
On the first day I came to the Yackandandah men's shed, you guys were doing a sausage sizzle. And I have to confess, I was appalled. I thought men's shed should be about promoting good health in men, and having a fatty sausage, a piece of white bread and a sugary sauce is not promoting good health. Now it happens that I have a background in commercial cooking and in nutrition, so immediately I said, look, I can do something about this, and I offered that once a month I would put on a lunch which would be healthy. The following month, therefore, I cooked a stir fry of vegetables with meat, where the proportion was 80% vegetables, 20% meat. Everybody enjoyed it, said this is terrific, let's continue to do this. But I did notice that one member picked out all the meat and left all the vegetables, and unfortunately old habits die hard. Now, since that time, due to the members' interest, I've been running a few cooking courses, particularly for the men who live alone, on how to cook a inexpensive, nutritious meal without having to go to the frozen food section of the local supermarket to get a pizza.
One of the things that we do, I think, very well is look after each other. If somebody isn't coming to the shed, then there's always somebody who can say, how's your mate, and how's he going, and somebody will ring him up to see how things are going.
Yeah, I have a friend that was in business, and he was in his mid-60s, and the rent kept on going up, and so he decided to get out, and he was selling the stock that he hadn't got rid of via eBay in his garage. He had a little office in the garage, and he spent months in that garage. And I went down there one time, and it was affecting him quite badly. He was just getting run down and just very lethargic. And I said to him, mate, you've got to get out. And I said, there's a men's shed here? And he says, yeah. I said, we went up and had a look at it. It was closed over Christmas. And then in the February, I rang him, and his wife answered the phone, and she said, oh, he's up at the men's shed. And the difference that that made to him was absolutely remarkable. He got back to his old self again. It was really amazing.
One of our bigger projects is bus shelters that the Shire gets us to make for the rural school bus pickups. They take a bit of work here, but it's good that the men who have metalwork skills can work on those.
The men's shed decided to go into the billy cart race in Yackandandah. We made a billy cart out of an ironing board and scrap metal, and we then decided to test the billy cart out.
We took the billy cart up to Station Lane. As you know, it's fairly steep up there. So first run was really good, so it was just nice and smooth as a test gun. The second one that I actually went to, I thought, no brake, let's go. So we got to the bottom corner at a fair rate of knots, rolled the billy cart, good bit of arm damage, and ruined a pair of track pants.
For Little Yaks, we designed and built a pirate ship for their playground. That really stretched our imaginations a little bit in design and in build, but the kids really enjoy playing on that still in their playground over at Little Yaks. And as well as all that, we have our members doing things that they want to do, so they're private projects. We've had a number of things that people have come in and said, I'd like to do this, let me do it or help me do it. We can help with that.
Yeah, well, we cut out the parts for the toys and don't assemble them, and the kids actually assemble the toys, and they don't do this sort of thing anymore, and they're so proud of their achievement when they've got them. You'd think they were made of gold. Now, this particular one the boat, they asked me, did it float? And I said, yeah, well, it floats, but I don't know which way up. Well, we had a market in the street outside the school, which is on a fair old hill, and it absolutely bucketed with rain, and the water was streaming down the gutter. And while we were standing there, a couple of these boats went screaming down the gutter, and they definitely float the right way up.
One of the additional activities we have is to visit other sheds and see what they are doing, or to visit government organisations, such things that are run by the government for people like in our age group. We've been to museums and we've been to other things like that, and that usually is something where we hire a bus and take a group of blokes for maybe an afternoon.
In 2020, we decided to put a covered veranda area, which increased our working area by probably double. The funds for that were all provided by what we had raised as a men's shed, and all the work was done by our own members. 2020, 2021 were difficult times with COVID, which they were for everybody in the community. We had to shut 3 or 4 times. But we returned in the end with a full membership and everyone healthy and happy. The shed continues to evolve today, as I'm sure it will well into the future.